morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're plugging into this call, right around the world. We've got people on the phone in New South Wales. We've got people on the phone here from Perth, Western Australia, from Malaysia, from South Africa. We've got people on the phone here from Sweden, and we've got people on the phone here right around the world. So we're really excited to have you on this call. Welcome to our distributor training program. This happens every Monday night, and tonight it gives me great honor and privilege to introduce you to a gentleman who has led many of us in many different ways, inspired us, and obviously held the reins of our business in a number of directions, not only locally, but obviously nationally and internationally. We've got an incredible topic of conversation tonight. I am going to start this call by saying this: fresh piece of paper, pen with a lot of ink in it, and get ready to take some great notes. Without further ado, over to you, President's team member, Mr. Roger Shahata.
Thank you, Mr. Wayne Levy, and good evening to everybody on the call tonight. I do welcome you. It's just celebrated 20 years with this amazing journey, and from where I was to where I am today, I'm a completely different person. That's part of what we do. We develop as leaders, and that's part of the conversation for tonight. So like Wayne said, get your pen and paper ready, because I'm not going to show you any slides except one, and everything else is just going to be verbal. So you're going to be writing like crazy, and I'm going to get stuck straight into it, because I'm probably going to take the whole hour to go through everything I've written down. So Patty asked me tonight to share a little bit about, prospecting, getting some conversation starters happening, how we invite people to presentations, and really the process of recruiting directly and indirectly through our client base as well. So let me start with really the prospecting and the conversations to bring up with prospects, which sort of is the gateway that opens up all the areas that we need to speak to a prospect about. And one of the first things when you're prospecting, it's really important, and I want you to write this down, is to build relationships, okay? I know a lot of us are excited to get this business up and going really quickly, and sometimes we just want to get straight to the point of talking to them about our amazing products and about our amazing business opportunity. And I remember saying, people don't really care how much you know until they know how much you really care. So that's a good one to write down. And really building that relationship is getting the trust, the rapport, the relationship, the friendship, so that people can sort of open up to you, that you can easily open back up to them about what you are doing with this amazing product and opportunity. And back in the day, we used to have this thing called Supervisor Academy, which was brought to Australia by Mr. Kim Bromer, 15K President's team member, who's on this call. And he adopted this from the Koreans, who were actually exploding their business at the time. And we implemented that in Australia. And one of the things that was in that Supervisor Academy is to really form people, F-O-R-M, form, okay? And the initials form or actually mean something. The F actually stands for family, understand a bit more about their family, all about their background, so to speak. And then the O is their occupation. The R is the relationships. And the M is what's their motivation. Okay, so really getting to know the person is really, really key. So ask about their family, ask what their background is, okay? Build that relationship and really find out what motivates them to maybe open up the gateway to them having a look at what you are offering with our products or business opportunity. So, the common thing that we do is talk to people every day. And that's what we all are meant to do. At the end of the day, we get paid for talking to people. If we're not talking to new people every single day about our products, about our amazing business opportunity, and then we are actually not doing our job. We don't get paid for sharpening pencils at our desk. We don't get paid for printing flyers. We don't even get paid for distributing our flyers. We get paid for talking to people, okay? Because our products don't have a mouth to talk for themselves. We experience it ourselves, and it's easy for us to talk to people about what they do for us. So wherever you are, at any time of day, you can easily talk to people. You have to understand, we are in the network marketing business. So there's two meanings to that. The first one is the word network. It means you actually have to network with other people, whether you're on the golf course, whether you're, out shopping, whatever it is, you got to be basically tapping people on the shoulder to create a network, a community to talk to, get into Facebook groups, all these different methods that we have in our business today. It's a lot easier to network because you can easily go into a Facebook group and communicate with people. By the way, with the R, it's recreation, not relationship, okay? I said the wrong thing before. So it's recreation. What do they do for sport? When you're under so much pressure, you sometimes say the wrong things, but hey, I picked it up. So, and thanks, Karen, because it was your face reaction that reminded me. So, the conversation starters is, I know when I go out on the golf course and that, I like to play with different people because it gives me a chance to pitch what I'm doing, okay? And it gives me a chance to build the relationship with someone. And always my first questions is, what do you do for work? You've got a day off work today. What are you doing here? What do you actually do for work? So these are all things to write down because these are questions, these are conversation starters that you can use to really open up what you are doing, because it's only a matter of time they're going to ask you the same question, by the way. Okay. So if you start the conversation, hey, Wayne, what do you actually do for work? Oh, I used to be a professional, tennis player or whatever the case might be. Okay. So how long have you been doing that for? Is always my second question. How long have you been doing that for? 12 years, 15 years, 20 years, whatever it is. Okay. Do you enjoy that? And the reason I'm asking all these questions, by the way, guys, is I'm looking for some key points or hot points that I can use as ammunition, if you like, to share with them what I am doing. Oh, yeah, I used to enjoy it when I first got started, but, I don't really enjoy it anymore. But, I'm getting old now and it's hard for me to find another job. So I'm just sticking with it. Bang, you've already got trigger points here that you can utilize. Have you got any kids? Oh, yeah, I got 3 kids. Oh, how old are your kids? So again, I'm just constantly more interested in them than being interesting. Who needs muting? Okay, you got this, Wayne. No problem. Okay, so, always be more interested in the prospect than being interesting yourself. Okay. Are you married? What does your wife do? Get a bit of background, because they might be in a good position financially or happy with their job, but the wife might not be happy with what she's currently doing. Okay. So it might not be for them, but you might be able to go around them and get to, hey, your wife should have a look at this. Okay. So where are you from? I always, like to know what their background is, because, hey, they might be from South Africa. Wow, we've got business in South Africa. Oh, they might be from India. Wow, I've got my friend Giant. This guy who's in India, he's making, X amount of lakhs a month with our company. Okay, so, and this is the importance of knowing other people's testimonies and stories, by the way, because you can always relate someone's story with that prospect. So, and then, you know, do you live in the area? Or which part of Melbourne are you from? Or which part of South Africa are you from? Or what have you? Okay. So these are all just simple conversation starters to help you, you know, really lead into the next part of the conversation with what you're doing. Because after you've done all that, guess what they're going to ask you? They're probably going to ask you the same questions. Well, what do you do for work? How many kids have you got? You know, oh, how often do you come out and play golf, etc. Okay, so here's once you've got all this information, you found your trigger points. One of the key conversation points that you can use with a prospect is, if I could show you a way, and a ... I want you to write that down. If I could show you a way, ... If I could show you a way, Patty, to make an extra $500 a month without affecting what you're currently doing, would you be interested? Okay. Now, the reality is $500 a month, hey, that's an extra $6,000 a year. That's that paid vacation once a year. Okay. So most people would be interested in as little as $500 a month. Okay. Or it could be that they need to lose weight. If I could show you a way to lose the weight without, you know, cutting back on the foods you love, all that kind of stuff, would you be interested? So again, it's just a channel for them to have a look at what you're currently doing. Okay. So another one that you can use, another conversation starter is, and I want you to write it down, do you keep your options open to making money if it doesn't interfere with what you're doing? Okay. Back in the day, I was trying to find, before this call, I was trying to find a member pack, but obviously I just moved house, so everything's a bit everywhere. But in the member pack, in the books in the member pack, it actually has these conversation starters, similar to what I'm sharing with you. I'm doing all this off the top of my head from experience, but in the book, it actually tells you all these conversation starters. You know, another one could be, would you be open to a side project? Hey, it sounds like you're successful in what you're currently doing, but would you be open to a side project that can help you make some residual income or royalty income? Here's another one. Do you believe in multiple streams of income? I'm giving you some time to write this down because, like I said, no slides tonight. I just want to make sure everybody's listening and taking good notes. And you might not even take a direct approach like that, okay? It could be that, you know, you're walking down the street and you see Kimmy down the street and you say, hey, Kimmy, I like your shirt. Where did you get that from? Okay? And then Kimmy's going to tell you, and that is another way to open up conversations. I know when Patrick first got involved with us, you know, he wasn't very good at his English. And he really wanted to get his English perfected more than anything in the beginning so he can recruit more people into the business. And he used to tap on people's shoulders in the beginning in the street. And straight away, he tried to do a pitch about coming on Tuesday night, and the guy would tell him where to go. And then Patrick started to understand, okay, you don't go direct like that. So then he started taking a different approach to it. He'd go tap someone on the shoulder and say, excuse me, Aaron, do you know where the local post office is? And Aaron would then tell him where the post office is. And he'd say, hey, you look pretty fit. What do you actually do? Oh, I'm a personal trainer, blah, blah, blah. Hey, you know what? You should come down to this presentation we've got all about fitness and stuff on Tuesday night at 8 o'clock down at our Wallet Community Center there. Come on down and have a look. Here's the address. I'll see you there. And this is how Patrick actually got good at his pitch and understood what not to do and what to do to attract more people. And his English got better because he was doing at least 10 a day, talking to people in the streets. Patrick would bring, 10, 20 people to every meeting, not even speaking fluent English. Okay. So we've got no excuses but to go out there and network and talk to more people. But remember, there's the other part, which is marketing. So how do you actually market your business? And there's many different methods that we use in the business to market what we are doing. And I'm going to share my screen just for 1 minute. It's only one slide. I'm literally sharing just one slide today, guys. And these are all the different methods that we have in our business. Okay, some of you have probably seen it, some of you probably haven't. Okay, and there's different methods that you can use depending on whether you have more time or whether you have more money to build your Herbalife career. Okay, so if you haven't got much money, which is what I didn't have when I first started, the low budget tools is basically walk and talk, like what I mentioned with Patrick just a minute ago, talking to people in the streets, tapping people on the shoulder and really getting to know more about them and then pitching what you're doing. Surveys is another method. By the way, I think I've pretty much done everything on this page here, okay, with my 20 years experience. Surveys, Ali and I used to literally go into the city, do surveys in the streets. And I can tell you, we got so many customers and so many distributors from this method that virtually, well, it didn't cost us anything but photocopying and our time, okay? And here's a tip with surveys, reduce the size of a survey from an A4 page to half an A4 page so you can get 2 surveys to a page. It's still the same amount of questions, but now your cost of printing is cheaper and you're talking to more people with a small survey. It looks smaller, so more prospects actually want to fill in the survey thinking it's not a lot of questions, even though it's the same amount of questions, okay? Flyers, we all know about flyers. Pull tabs is just basically a big flyer with rip-off tabs at the bottom of the flyer. The tip there with the pull tabs is rip the first one, because no prospect likes to be the first one to rip a tab. So rip it to make it look like someone's taken your name and number, so that encourages other people to do the same. Posters with your details, wearing a button or the brand, like what I'm currently doing here on the screen. A pitch book, I've got till today, it's funny, it's just sitting here on my desk, coincidentally, but till today, I've still got a pitch book. Here's my before and after photos. Some of you can probably see it or not see it. So these are basically testimonies of people's stories right around the world that I use. Till today, I still have this pitch book pretty handy that I can talk to anybody anywhere. And today we put it on our phones that we can actually show before and after photos on our phones. So that's how you can build your client base. Obviously, the LA Galaxy jerseys, the Western Sydney Wanderers jersey. So these are methods that you can use that are low budget methods. If you're spending a bit of money, you can run, different types of ads on social media or internet or however you're doing it to generate leads. You can run newspaper ads. Hey, I came through a newspaper ad. Okay. Hadn't my sponsor put an ad in the paper, I probably wouldn't be on the call today. You can use a mailing service, SMS services. And even if you haven't got much time, you can pay a flyer distribution company to distribute the flyers for you. But I can tell you now from personal experience, that never works as effective as you personally putting flyers in letterboxes. And the reason so is, when you put the time and effort into doing what you need to do in your business, then people actually get attracted to what you are doing, even though you're not the one that's actually, the people aren't doing it, you're actually doing it. It's the time and effort and energy you're putting into the flyers that's attracting people towards you. Okay, so let me just mute this person. Okay, great. So yes, the universe definitely rewards you. There's no question about that. And if you're doing the work, the universe always will look after you. So invitation, let's talk a little bit about invitation. So we've got a bit of an idea how to start a conversation with people, right? We're all good with that. Now our job is, with part of the conversation, we're leading up to an invitation. We're not doing all this work so that we can forget about him and say, okay, well, I know that's Frank who plays golf every Tuesday. He's married with 3 kids and, has a farm and all this kind of stuff. Well, great. Well, what about the invitation? Don't forget about what leads, it's like a funnel. You got to put all these people into the top of the funnel, but you got to siphon them through the funnel so that you can find your next key distributor for your business. Okay, so you want to get good at invitation. So again, if I could show you a way to make an extra $500 a month, would you be interested? Great. On Tuesday night, we're having a company orientation session that's happening live online. Can you be on that? It's on at 8 o'clock. Okay. Now, here's a tip for you guys. You don't want to be saying to them, oh, but we have these calls every Tuesday and Thursday. Because a prospect will always naturally delay the process. Okay. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to siphon them through the funnel as quickly as possible so that you can see if there's somebody you want to work with. That's why we say at the end of the presentation, if you qualify to work with us. You see? I mean, I've got people I've invited several times and they still haven't showed. You know what I'm doing now? I'm just not inviting them anymore. That's it. It's the end of story. There'll come a time where they'll come back to me and say, hey, Rog, it's now time for me to have a look at this thing. And I'll say, great, can you be on? Definitely this Tuesday. Okay? Because we don't want to muck around. We're serious business people and we've got a serious business to take care of here. Okay? So if you're not talking to people first, you need to do methods to actually acquire these people. And those are the methods that I just shared with you. And you're doing these methods, don't forget the outcome is what you're trying to get. You're trying to get a contact from these different methods. The reason you're doing 500 flyers a day or whatever it is to get the phone ringing. The reason you're running an ad in the paper is to get the phone ringing. Okay, you're trying to acquire a contact so that you can then invite them to the presentation. Now, to make sure you do this successfully, you need to be clear how many hours a day you're actually working your business. Because this is a business. You can't expect to do minimum activity and expect massive results or maximum results. You've got to pour it on. You've got to be working it as many hours as you possibly can to get the results that you want to get. Jim Rohn always in the back of my mind says, make up in numbers what you lack in skill. So if you don't know what to say to the prospects yet, you've got to increase the activity to talk to more people so you can get better at your pitch. Wayne always says, and you've heard it before on previous calls, is carefully set of chosen words that you're going to use on a daily basis to build your business. Okay? So find what works for you, just like Patrick found what worked for him and knew that was his pitch. So how many hours a day are you going to put into your business? Be very clear on that. Okay. Choose at least 3 methods that you're going to work your business on a daily basis. Now, here's the reason why we say 3 methods. Because, I heard this a long time ago from Chairman's Club member John Tartle. He said, if you choose one method, you'll die by one method. So the reason we choose 3 methods is to find the methods that actually work for us. We are all different individuals. We all have different talents. We all have different skills, so we're all different. And we have to find what's suitable for our character. Okay? I can't do what Patty does as a dancing queen. That's just not me on social media. I'm more reserved, and Patty's out there dancing and so forth. And that's a great way for Patty to attract more people into her business. Aaron probably working out, doing videos and lives and what have you, working out. I can't do that because I don't work out. So see, we're all different on this call. So we've got to find what suits us as individuals and use our strengths to build our business. So you want to be choosing at least 3 methods that you're using in your business on a daily basis. Commit to 3 methods for retailing and 3 methods for recruiting as a minimum. And the reason we say 3 is because if one doesn't work, at least 2 will. If 2 don't work, at least 1 will. Okay? And we always say work it for 90 days and then review it after 90 days. And the reason for 90 days is we're building momentum. We're seeing what's actually working. What is the universe going to reward you for with your activities? And I can tell you now, sometimes you're doing those 3 methods and you'll get results from other things just because you're doing those methods. You always heard Kim say on the previous calls, the 80-20 rule, okay? 80% of it doesn't actually work, but it's the 20% that actually works that produces 80% of the business, if that makes sense. So it's when you're doing stuff, so much momentum, so much activity, that you start attracting what you want in the business. And this is going to sound like a bit UFO sort of thing. It's the whole attraction thing that makes the difference in your business. The same way when Ali and I said, hey, you know what? We're changing 2 pins this year. We're going to go Mill 7.5 and Press Team. That was the law of attraction working for us. Obviously, we were putting in the work. We were busting our backside, working crazy hours, doing whatever it took. So we didn't just say, oh, we're going to change pins and not do anything about it. Because then the universe is going to say, well, what are you actually doing about getting Mill 7.5 and Press Team? Again, Jim Rohn plays in my mind quite frequently, and he says, who is this clown who brings me his seed? He brings me his need without planting the seed, or something along those terms. Okay, so you can't expect not to be planting seeds, which is talking to prospects every day and expecting this amazing outcome. Our job is to plant seeds every day. What's the planting of the seeds? It's talking to new people every single day, whether it's 3 people a day, 5 people a day, or 10 people a day. That is your goal. If you're very casual in the business, you should be talking to at least 3 people a day. If you're part-time in the business, you should be talking at least 5 people a day. If you're full-time in the business, you should be talking to at least 10 people a day. Okay? There were times I was talking to 20, 50, and 100 people a day. I can tell you. So the universe rewarded us for our activity. And that's why we were able to change 2 pins within a 6-month period, because we focused, we put our heads down, we did the numbers, and we attracted it. with the law of attraction. Okay? So stick to it for 90 days so that you can really build that momentum. And building momentum is key. Now, once you've got the momentum, the biggest problem, and you've heard on previous calls, is a lot of us just naturally go, okay, I've got this momentum. I can take a breather now. I can take my foot off the accelerator. And I can tell you, if you take the foot off the accelerator long enough, the car is bound to stop. When you've got the momentum, it's easier to keep your foot on the accelerator and keep it on full speed. When you take your foot off, I can tell you now, it's 5 times harder to get the momentum back than when you were actually in momentum. Make sense? So really work hard to build the momentum, but keep the momentum going so that you can keep moving forward. So let's talk a little bit about the recruiting flow of what I actually do with getting a client to become a member. Okay, there's really 2 parts to our business. We want to be doing retail, but put in brackets, to recruit. I'm never interested in retail. You know, Kim Bromer, you've heard on previous calls, isn't interested in retailing. Wayne is not interested in retailing. We retail initially when we first started the business to get our cash flow going, and so that we believe that you can make money with our business opportunity. Yes, but once you've got the retail momentum happening, you want to channel as much of your energy into recruiting, because that's where the royalty residual income is coming in. And that's what we all want on this call. That's why we're all on this call on a Monday night at 8:30, because we all want royalty income. We want income that's going to pay us for the rest of our lives, whether we're awake or asleep, alive or we're dead, we're still making money. So the process I go through with converting a client to a distributor, to a member, to a leader or a business builder, then a leader, is a whole process. And it's not a process that you're going to finish in 2 months. It is actually a process. It takes time. And I want you to write that down. You know, they say Rome wasn't built overnight, nor was our Herbalife business, let me tell you. Okay? But it's the activity, the momentum, the hard work, the blood, sweat, and tears, all the energy and time, the training calls, the working harder on yourself than you do on your business, that is accumulated. It's a compound effect. That's a great word to write down. It's a compound effect to where you are in your business at the moment. Every single one of us on this call is exactly where we need to be in our business right now. For us to get to another level, we've got to build a new compound effect in our businesses, because our next pin is not in our current business. So again, acquiring the customer is the first step, and I'm going to give it to you in steps. So step number 1 is acquiring that customer, and that's through the methods and the plan that we just spoke about. Okay, here's a tip I can give you from experience for the last 20 years. When you're acquiring a customer, you want to make sure you get their name, obviously. You want to get their phone number. You probably want to get their address. But to me, one of the most important information that I get for acquiring a customer, or even a prospect who's interested in the products or the business, is their email address. To me, the email address is actually more important than anything else. Why? Because I can put them on a database, and you're going to hear this word a lot, database, where I can constantly promote to them, if not weekly, at least on a monthly basis. Okay? I've got a database of nearly 30,000 email addresses over the last 20 years. Okay, 30,000. And I tell you, I'm no genius with my marketing side of emails for the customers. Guess what I do at the beginning of every month? When Herbalife sends out that newsletter every month, I literally copy and paste it, and I put my website address in the email, and I'll actually see, because I've got Zendesk, which you can set up on your phone with your Go Herbalife account, that as soon as I blast out that email, I'll have at least a few hundred people every month going through that website. Now, here's what going through the website does, even if they do not buy. This is where the marketing strategies come in, guys, and a little tip for every one of you on this call. When people are visiting your website so frequently, it helps it rank high on the search engines. You see, this is the importance of the marketing side. So till today, I still get leads every single month that find us on Google, because we are starting to rank really high now after 20 years, that everybody's clicking on the website every month, that Google says, hey, this website must be important. People are visiting it every single month. And that's what's going to help you attract more clients so that you can then attract more distributors. You know, my personal volume is taken care of every single month just from the retail side. I don't even think about my 2.5 and haven't for 20 years. You know, I could do 3, 4, maybe even 5,000 personal volume every month just from my retail without even recruiting anybody. Okay. And that's because of the momentum my website brings, but then it opens up the gateway for me to recruit these people into my business. And I'm going to go through that process with you. So the next part of the step is, when I get a client, the first month I always do full retail. I never discount the product straight away. Why? I believe, my philosophy is, if they're going to pay full retail in the first month, that they're probably going to use the products more seriously because they felt the pinch of paying more for the product. So first month, full retail. Now, when you make a sale, that's where the job starts. It's not finished. That's where it begins. You know, Jim Rohn always says there's penny in the sales, a fortune in the follow-up, which leads to the next part of it. Giving them a rock star follow-up. Not just a follow-up, a rock star follow-up. And I want you to underline rock star follow-up. That's the key words there. You know, Mark Hughes always said he looked at everybody with the letter P on their forehead. Everybody is a president's team. Whether they're a customer or a distributor, look at everybody with the letter P on their forehead. Because some of the best customers in the world are today president's team members. Okay? So give them that rock star follow-up. Now, while they're getting results, here's the next tip. Ask them if anyone has noticed their results and possibly interested in getting results themselves. Hey, Patty, you lost this many kilos. You're looking fantastic. Have your friends and family noticed? Oh, yeah, my auntie Jane really loves the way that I look, that she wants to get started on the products. Now, here's the reason for this question. This question is now saying, okay, Patty has people interested in the products. So there's a potential distributor there. Okay. We can get Auntie Jane on the product. She's going to start feeling good and stuff. I'll still do the rock star follow-up because Patty doesn't have the experience initially. Okay. But then I can be saying to Patty, hey, do you want me to make the money or do you want to make the money? It's a simple door opener. And of course, Patty's going to put her hand up and say, hey, well, I want to make the money. I don't want you to make the money. No problem. Okay. And there's a guy that you guys saw recently that joined our team. His name's Danish. And Danish, here's the story of Danish. Danish is actually a parent for one of the kids at my kids' school. You were doing Herbalife for over a year. Our kids went to prep together. And he knew we were doing Herbalife. He knew the products help with your health, all that kind of stuff. And then this year he moved to Canberra, and he said, I really want to just get rid of that, belly fat that I'm carrying and so forth. Danish got on the products, got amazing results. His community started noticing, saying, hey, you're looking good. Where do we get it from? He referred the people to us. We helped the people get started. Then we said, hey, Danish, do you want to make the money or you want us to make the money? Danish said, hey, I'm interested in making the money. Okay, great. You got to get on some calls. He started attending some of these trainings and so forth. And then now he's referred a whole bunch of people and he's this close to going supervisor. Okay, amazing. So again, it's the funnel, it's the process. But notice it wasn't something that happened yesterday or 90 days ago. This happened over a year ago that led to where it is today. So sometimes you feel like you're spinning, you're riding the bike, you're pedaling, you're moving forward, but it's just not going as fast as you want it to. That's okay, because the compound effect will happen and it will lead to an outstanding result. So, making sure that you ask the question, has anyone noticed? Always ask for referrals is really, really key. The second part of the process is the second month is where I offer them to buy the products in bulk so that they can save money. Okay, so Danish was getting these amazing results. Hey, Danish, you're going to be on these products for at least 6 months with the weight you want to lose and maintain. Okay. Are you interested in buying it in bulk so that you can save a bit of money? Now, who doesn't like to save money? Okay. That's why Costco is so popular, because people like to save money. I've never been in Costco personally, but that's why they're so successful. Okay. Because they sell in bulk. And people go, well, hang on, instead of me buying 1 packet of toilet paper, I'll buy a dozen packets of toilet paper and get it a bit cheaper. Okay, so this is most people's mindset. So then what I do is promote a minimum 500 volume points. I never talk 25% discount. To me, there is no point signing up someone at a 25% discount. The only time I will sign up someone at a 25% discount is if they've made the effort to come to one of our live HOMs, online or face-to-face, and they're still not interested in the business. I'll say, look, just because you came along, I want to help you out to get the products at a better discount. Okay? Because you've heard Kim say many times before, better to register them. And the reason it's better to register them is because you've locked them in as part of your organization. You don't want them to go online and try to find the products cheaper or end up signing up with another distributor than you. So that's really important. So you register them as a member, you talk minimum 500 volume points, and you keep building that rapport with them. What do I mean by that? There'll come a time in their life where they really need the business opportunity. There will come a time, I promise you, okay? Especially with what's happening in the marketplace right now. Interest rates are going through the roof. Petrol prices are going through the roof. Groceries are going through the roof. The cost of living is becoming unbearable for most people in the marketplace. And I've said this on previous calls. unless someone's making at least $30,000 a month, they're not going to survive. I can tell you. I can even tell you it's hard to survive on $30,000 a month. Okay? Now, you might be saying, well, $30,000 a month, I can live like a king and queen. Let me tell you, you cannot. You cannot. You need a lot more to sit comfortably. You need at least $50,000, $60,000, $100,000 a month to be sitting financially free. So, really, keep building that rapport. Keep listening to what these people are saying. You know, because there'll come a time where they say, oh, have you seen the petrol prices? Yeah, I know, it's crazy, isn't it? But this is what's exciting about what I do, because, hey, I can make an extra $500 a month very part-time without affecting what I'm currently doing. Would you be interested? That covers the fuel expenses. That covers the groceries. Okay? So really look for those hot buttons to open up the conversation. Again, throughout the whole process, whether they're doing the business or not, keep asking for referrals. Okay? Because what we've done with Danish example is we've got the referrals from him. We've looked after the customer directly. And guess what? They wanted to buy in bulk. We sign them up under Danish. We do the right thing by Danish. We get them to do 500 volume points. Danish now starts getting some wholesale income too and goes, hey, I just got a check from Herbalife and I haven't even done anything. Yes, you have. You've been referring these people to us and they've been buying. And because their volume counts towards your volume and you're at a higher discount than they are, you're getting the difference in wholesale. Now imagine you want to do this business. See how you can easily twist this around to become the best opportunity on the planet for them to really want to take a serious look and get involved. Okay? So keep asking for those referrals and keep inviting them to learn more about the products via a HOM, especially the Tuesday night HOMs and the masterclasses that we hold online. Okay? Hey, Karen, you know, you're loving the products, you're getting great results. We're having a customer information night on Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. You should jump on so you can learn a bit more about our products, because I think there's other products you might be interested in. It only goes for half an hour. Can you jump on? Bang. Invitation. Doesn't matter what you say, guys. It's the feeling, it's the expression, it's the excitement you have behind what you're saying that attracts people to what you are doing. Okay? So after they've attended the presentation, the next important step is making sure you do a key follow-up. Okay? Even though we say at the end of the presentation, get back to the person who invited you to see if you're a perfect fit for us. If you haven't heard back from the prospect within half an hour, get on the phone with them. Okay? That's the reason we say that in the presentation, is just to twist the words a bit so that they can feel that, wow, I want to be a part of this. Okay? But if they don't call you, it's key that you call them, because that is when the iron is hot. If you leave it till the next day, they've had time to think about it. They've had time to, you know, talk themselves out of it, which is what human beings actually do. I want you to write that down. Human beings have the skill of convincing themselves that it's not going to work for them. By the way, this is not only in our business, this is in everything in life. Okay? In everything in life. So we've got to strike when the iron is hot and say, hey, you were on that presentation, Kim. I saw that you loved what was being shared there. Did you see an opportunity for yourself to get involved with us? And he's going to say, you know what? I love the products, but this is not for me. No problem. Yeah, at least you know where Kim stands. By the way, again, if you've got Kim's email address, you can now put him on a database for the business. And you might have some emails that go out every few days or every few weeks or every few months saying, hey, this is what our company is doing at the moment. There's never been a better time than right now. You know, we're having a live information session with 300 people this coming Saturday at this location. To book, send us an email, limited seating only, okay? I did this with the first Why Herbalife Why Now that came out here in Melbourne. You know, I advertised it on Facebook, and I did a web page where people had to submit their name, email address, etc., to make a booking, and then it would send them a flyer of the actual invitation that said, print this up and bring it to the presentation for your seat. So we made it sound like the seating was scarce, that they had to book quickly. And that's, again, part of the marketing aspect that we all need to get better on in our Herbalife businesses, okay? So, and then if you haven't already registered them, then you just register them. Just get going. So let's keep moving forward because we're running out of time. But how to determine if they are a business builder is a question that was asked. The best way to determine if someone is actually a business builder is by giving them a task to do and see if they actually follow through with it. So ask them to do a presentation, or ask them to come to the Why Herbalife Why Now meeting and help you set up the room. Okay? When people follow through and do these things that leaders do, that's when you know they're possibly on their way to becoming a business builder. It doesn't mean they're a business builder yet. Okay? But if they're doing the initial steps and showing commitment and that they're excited about what they're doing, then that's a stepping stone to becoming a business builder. You know, like, you know, Patty now taking responsibility of setting up these calls for this month, for example. That's a stepping stone to becoming a business builder. You know, Karen with all the flyers and promoting that she does. Obviously, she's beyond business builder now, and she's actually one of our leaders on this call. Aaron, the same thing. So this is all stepping stones to becoming a leader with our company. The only way we can cut diamonds on this call, which make you a president's team, is by being sharpened by other diamonds like Kim, Wayne, and myself, who are diamonds. So we keep cutting and we keep putting the pressure on so that you guys can develop your business. You know, tweaking a flyer, hey, can Roger do it, or Kim do it, or Wayne do it? Absolutely we can. We can. We can, Karen, we can. But you know what? At the end of the day, who's trying to get to the diamond position? Okay? We can actually do it. It might not be easy, but we can do it, Karen. I can see you laughing, okay? But we can actually do it if we commit a bit of time to it. But we're trying to shine more diamonds from this call. Yes, I'm moving on, Wayne. So we're trying to shine more diamonds from this call. So we've already done what you are doing right now. Wayne and I have set up the rooms. Kim has set up an STS before. We used to run the STSs. We've done all this. We've served our time. That's why we are where we are. It's now time for you to serve your time to get where we are. Does that make sense? So that's why we keep putting that pressure on. Another way to determine a business builder is to see if they are actually recruiting people in their business. If they're not recruiting, they're not in building mode. Okay, so we've got to constantly keep talking to more people, to recruit more people, to keep advancing our business. Because I can tell you now from experience, personal volume of what a person is actually doing in their business. And I can tell you, your sponsor and your upline president's team can actually see what you're doing in your business with volume. They know whether you're in building mode or you're just a volume producer. You're just consuming enough product for yourself, maybe helping a handful of customers, but you're not actually in building mode. Okay. So, you know, and again, like Kim always says, it's an 80-20 rule. 80% of the people on all of our statements are producing 20% of the volume, and 20% of the people on our statements are producing 80% of the volume. So that means they're the business builders. Okay. So we've got to keep going through those diamonds in the rough, so to speak, to find the real diamonds. Work closely with them. So work closely with your team members till they get to at least get to 5. Okay. Wayne always said that don't leave a team member till they get to at least get to 5 in your business. They still haven't, as a get team member even, they still haven't got where they need to be to go where they want to go. Okay. And then they step up and do things. So these are the business builders. They just step up and do things and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to take control. You know, just like the other day, there was something with the flyer that was wrong. And Karen said, that's okay. I've got this. I'll change it in 2 minutes. It's done. That's what leaders do. They just step up and do it. They figure it out. Yes, Aaron, that's correct. They just figure it out and they do it. Even if they don't know how to do it, they find a way to do it. Okay. So let's talk about the last thing for tonight, which is leadership. Okay. And this is really short because everything else leads up to the leadership. And this is my viewpoint, and I'm only talking from 20 years experience, so you can throw it out the window if you don't like it. But I believe a leader has to be innovative. Always trialing new things. I am constantly, every single day, trying new things. I wonder if this would work. Now, here's the key. To not stop what you are doing to try new things. Keep doing what you're currently doing, but try the new things on top of what you're currently doing. Do you think if I never built that database, nobody ever told me to build that database, by the way, with email addresses. That's something I started implementing 20 years ago. Okay. And I just came up with it. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to put everybody on a database and keep them informed. And has it served me well? Absolutely. You can see how many visitors I get a month because of it, and high ranking on search engines because of it. So become innovative, always trial new things. You know, Fit Club didn't exist many years ago, but it took a bunch of guys who were down on their business and going, hey, you know what, let's just take a hike up the mountain as friends, come back, we'll have shakes. And they said, hey, that felt good. These shakes are great. And then they said, hey, can we bring some friends next time? Yeah, bring friends. And before you know it, more friends came along and more friends came along, and bang, Chairman's Club members, out of just the concept that they accidentally stumbled upon, so to speak, just because they were down on their luck in their business. So be innovative. Don't be scared to try new things. Sometimes you're going to try new things and they're not going to work. And they might cost you money. But the main thing is you learn something from it that you might be able to implement in your business. Okay? I'm always spending on courses exuberant amount of money, like crazy. You know, a course might cost me $3,000, $4,000. Try something. Hey, it didn't work, but I got one thing out of it that I can implement in my business. Then I'll go do another $3,000, $4,000 course. And guess what? That didn't really work for me, but I got something else. And if I implement it with what I learned from the first course, hey, that's a great combination. And it's just like a jigsaw puzzle. You start putting all these nice pieces together, and at the end, you get the picture of what you're trying to achieve in your business. Okay. So, and then always tweaking things. We always say on our calls, hey, are we happy with our Herbalife opportunity meeting? How can we make it better? How can we present better? What slides do we need to change? What wording do we need to change? This is all constant tweaking because, by the way, none of us on this call have all the answers. If we all had all the answers, we wouldn't be sitting here on this call. Isn't that interesting? So the reason we get together is to pick minds because we're all got different skills and say, hey, what can you bring to the marketplace, Karen? What can you bring to the marketplace, Aaron? What can you bring to the marketplace, Kimmy? So we use everybody's talents to help advance our businesses. And the last thing with leadership that I want you to write down and probably highlight is that as a leader, we always lead from the front. 20 years later, still on the call. Wayne, 36, 37 years later, still on the calls. Kim, what is it, 25, 30 years? 30 years now, still on the call. Doesn't that tell you something? And yes, journals. How many journals have we accumulated over the years, guys? I mean, you know, between all of us on this call, there's got to be at least 100 years worth of experience between every single person on this call. If we accumulate that knowledge and put it all together, nothing can stop us from achieving great things. So that's it from me, guys, for tonight. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your effort. Thank you for your handwriting. Your wrists are probably hurting after all that. Wayne, I'm going to hand it over to you to close the call. Thank you.